Ping now dead. Passbook as a flashlight app. Digg for iPad. The continuing Maps Saga. iTunes Extra. And Afterthought. It is Monday, October 1st, 2012, and this is iWake. I'm Tim Chaten, and this is what's going on in the Apple world today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the month of October. It's fun to be back for another episode of iWake, and I've got a hodgepodge of a lot of different tips, stories, and news today. Let's just kick it off with just letting you guys know and reminding you that Ping, Apple's music social network thingy, is now at an end. September 30th marked the last day of Ping operation and is no longer available. And I'm sad to see it go, but it was not a success and it was not something Apple wanted to invest any further development time in. Just a little side note from that, in the iTunes realm is that, or not even the iTunes realm, just the TV realm, is that I want to remind you as well that Dexter Season 7 is now airing. They had the premiere last night, so if you were a Dexter fan, I was kind of shocked that it was back on the air. As for Season 7, it's now up. So if you like the show, it's out for those that have Showtime or the means to get it. So now let's dig into just a couple tips I've got here. The first is for Passbook. So the Passbook app is an interesting app. Currently, many people have no use for it. They have no apps that support Passbook. They have no really need for it right now. Something I discovered, though, is that Passbook does something rather interesting. I noticed this at night. When you launch the application up, it cranks the brightness of your iPhone to maximum. It in effect goes into the settings app, changes it to maximum, and then returns it back to normal when you leave the app. Now I mention all this because this makes Passbook a great replacement of many flashlight apps that use the screen as the flashlight. I myself use the screen as a flashlight quite a bit. That is something I do. Now, I sometimes use the LED flash in the back, but many times the iPhone itself, when the screen is cranked up all the way, does a great job at being that replacement or that flashlight. So that's a tip I wanted to share with you. I think it's kind of a cool thing that you can put Passbook to use to. Another tip is with Sketch 2.0. If you want to do screen grabs while in full screen mode, I discovered you can actually do those by using the gesture, the four-finger gesture, the swipe to other spaces, and that little cursor to capture stuff will still be there. So that's just a tip for Sketch users. And the final thing today is a question I received, is how do you find the number of songs you have in iTunes Match? One way to do that is to simply do an iTunes Match update. It'll tell you at the very end how many songs are in iTunes Match. Another way is to simply organize your library based on iTunes Match status, and you can select the songs that are in there. On the bottom, it'll tell you how many songs are a part of iTunes Match. So those are just some iTunes Match related things there. Now let's dig into some app news. And first up is a new version of Digg for iPad and iPhone. So version 3.1 introduces the Digg for iPad interface. It adds reading sync, so it'll sync between iPhone and iPad to continue reading where you left off. You're able to share articles via text now. That's the messaging stuff. Improved performance and simplified navigation. The Gmail app for iPhone also got an update to support the iPhone 5's 4-inch display. And the last big app story of the day is for Amazon. They released a new app called Amazon Local. The app lets users view and buy deals instantly, redeem deals directly from your iPhone without printing vouchers, set preferences for the type of deals you want to see. While you're on the go, the app is used to map the location of your deals and get driving directions, quickly mark deals as used and see your unused deals, decide whether you'd like to receive emails or push notifications for both of your cities, call Amazon Local or the merchant with one click on a smartphone, lock the app with passcode, share deals with friends, family through Facebook, Twitter, email, and iMessage. So for those that don't know, Amazon Local is their version of Groupon. And now there is that app for the iPhone. So if you are an Amazon Local user, go out and download it. It is not available currently in Hawaii, so I am not a user. It seems like a cool service, but I have no way to actually use this app. Next up today is Maps, the continuing saga of Maps. First off is a letter from Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, that was sent out last week and posted on Apple's website. Begins to our customers. At Apple, we strive to make world-class products to deliver the best experience possible to our customers. With the launch of our new Maps last week, we fell short of this commitment. We are extremely sorry for the frustration this has caused our customers. We are doing everything we can to make Maps better. We launched Maps initially with the first version of iOS. As time progressed, we wanted to provide our customers with even better maps, including features such as turn-by-turn directions, voice integration, flyover, and vector-based maps. In order to do this, we had to create a new version of Maps from the ground up. There are already more than 100 million iOS devices using the new Apple Maps, with more and more joining us every day. In just over 1 week, iOS users with the new Maps have already searched for nearly 500 million locations. The more our customers use our maps, the better it will get, and we greatly appreciate all of the feedback we have received from you. While we're improving Maps, you can try alternatives by downloading map apps from the App Store like Bing, MapQuest, and Waze, or use Google or Nokia Maps by going to their websites and creating an icon on your home screen to their web app. Everything we do at Apple is aimed at making our products the best in the world. We know that you can expect that from us, and we will keep working non-stop till Maps lives up to the same incredibly high standard. Tim Cook, Apple CEO. So that is a letter that was posted last week, and just some general thoughts about this. This is nothing new for Apple. Apple's written letters in the past. Apple has apologized for their errors in the past, and the style of this letter is very much in the voice of Tim Cook, right? This is not the voice of Steve Jobs. This is clearly a letter either written by Tim Cook or someone that knows Tim Cook very well with his voice in mind. And some things to note here is they realize this is not the best experience possible, and they're sorry for that. And they're genuine in this frustration that this is causing their users. They are wanting to make this better. They also provide a reason why they need to redo this. They needed to improve Maps. It was at a stalemate. It was at an end of life with this version of Maps, so they needed to start fresh, and that's why we have this new app. And it's going to get better. Just like iMovie 09, just like Final Cut 10, this is a reworking of something that was in place, and Apple's done this time and time again. They've received criticism every single time, but they will make this better, and perhaps even better than Google Maps in the long run. I could see that happening. And they also say that the more people use it, the better it gets. So to continue using it, and it's going to get better. The curious thing is they suggest alternatives in the App Store and online. That they recommend Bing, MapQuest, Waze, or even web apps from Google or Nokia. This is an interesting point that Tim Cook makes, that I could see Steve Jobs doing this maybe to promote the App Store in a big way. But interesting that they do this. They actually even made a website showing off very clearly how you make web apps onto your iPhone. They use examples of Nokia Maps, I believe. So very interesting stuff, and a real, genuine letter, I feel. And it's good to know they're working on this stuff as we all knew they were. And to me, it feels like Apple really has been thrown under the bus under something that, for version 1, this is an incredible app. The data in here is incredible. The user interface is incredible. For version 1.0, this is basically 2007 iPhone, redo of the maps. This is what it is. I mean, it essentially is a brand new app. They use similar metaphors from the prior app, same interfaces, things like that. But this is a new app. Make no doubts about it. Related to that is Apple's branding of the app. on their webpage and their advertising. It originally said all of which may just make this app the most beautiful, powerful mapping service ever. They rebranded that to all in a beautiful vector-based interface that scales and zooms with ease. So they've taken a step back from what they did in the keynote and online, from the best, most powerful mapping service ever to something beautiful, vector-based that scales and zooms with ease. So they have taken a step back in their advertising as well. Now, the most curious thing is that Maps on the original iPhone from 2007 was a last-minute decision. The New York Times is a well-sourced quote here that including a Maps app on the first iPhone was not even part of the company's original plan as the phone's unveiling approached in January '07. Just weeks before the event, Mr. Jobs ordered a mapping app to show off the capabilities of the touchscreen device. Two engineers put together a Maps app for the presentation in 3 weeks, said a former Apple engineer who worked on iPhone software. The company hastily cut a deal with Google to use its Maps data. So the original app that we saw presented on stage was an app built in 3 weeks. And essentially that same app is the framework of this new app. That's simply incredible to me, that time frame they worked with. It's improved over the years, but the original interface of Maps has remained essentially the same, which is rather interesting. The last bit of Maps news is the fact that Google Maps has some bugs as well. A friend of mine posted this little post. It points out that it asks you to drive on footpaths or sidewalks in several countries, New Zealand for instance, swim across the Atlantic Ocean for driving directions, and lots more errors. Google Maps is not perfect and Apple Maps is not perfect. Both are working at making it better. Now, to close out the show, we've got a couple of different stories. First off is more on the FeedBurner issue. Google has been deprecating FeedBurner for a while now, and they're deprecating it again. AdSense is going away. According to Google, AdSense for feeds was designed to help publishers earn revenue from their content by placing ads on RSS feeds. Starting October 2nd, we'll begin to retire its feature, and on December 3rd, we'll close it. Publishers can continue to use FeedBurner URLs powered by Google, so they won't need to redirect subscribers to different URLs. So they're continuing to offer the service, but no more AdSense. Next up is a nice UI improvement with FaceTime in iOS 6. The prior version of FaceTime in iOS 5 did not include the ability to see the time of whatever the menu bar. That is now there, and something that was absent from the prior version. So the menu bar is there in all its glory in iOS 6. Next, Taken 2 is coming out fairly soon, a movie I am very anxious to see. And related to that is its soundtrack. It's now available for pre-order. And finally today is Prometheus Blu-ray Extras. I have a link in the show notes that goes over to Engadget that shows a trailer of what to expect with the Blu-ray of Prometheus. And I must say, it excites me, but it makes me incredibly sad. So I saw glimpses of things that I really want to see these extras of. I really do. There's 7 hours of bonus features. There's documentaries. There's questions that are going to be answered in these extras that were not in the movie, as this claims. And the sad part of this is we had a fantastic release of Prometheus in iTunes. We had a director's commentary, the first for an iTunes release. We had some deleted scenes and alternate scenes. All great. But the sad thing is, the Blu-ray has so much more. And the sad thing is that people would actually pay. I would personally pay for the extras content alone for, say, $5 or $10. I would pay for all of that content as a standalone purchase. But digitally, that is something that is not available. They don't offer it, and the only way to get it is to either pirate it online digitally or to actually buy a Blu-ray and try to extract it. But the problem with extracting these Blu-rays to make it digital is it's a mess. All the menus and organization, it can be a hassle trying to do that. So digitally, digital formats, computer formats of extras are still very much thought of as second-rate citizens and really put to shame as far as what they offer. So it's a sad thing to see iTunes not get all that it could, But at the same time, I'm excited to see that this 4-disc set is going to include some great things, and I might have to figure out a way to watch this stuff because it excites me. So with all of that said, thank you for tuning into today's show. That's what's going on in the Apple world today, the first day of October. You can find the show notes over at iWakePodcast.com. I also do videos over at youtube.com/TCHATEN. Please subscribe to that channel. I do all sorts of videos. I do iWake in video format. I do stop motion animation. I do iOS 6 tips there. Lots of stuff. And finally, if you'd like access to the scripts I read from, if you'd like access to bonus episodes, head on over to iWakePodcast.com/again. The $10 a month subscription grants you access to bonus content you will not receive in this free version of the show. That's iWakePodcast.com/again. Thank you guys for watching and listening to today's show. I will be back tomorrow for another edition of iWake. Aloha.